Welcome to Boss Talks. I'm your host, Evan Happel. This is episode 80. And as you can see, 80 is a big number. And so we have a big show for you. We have the Latinas in Property Management here with me. And obviously, it's more than one person. And this is a representation of a group that is growing and way bigger than just this group here. But these are people that are very involved and that are a part of the advisory board. And then we also have the founder, who is Joelis, and I had the privilege of talking to her almost over a year ago, actually. Episode, I think, 20 of Boss Talks. So
Come a long way.
perfectly 60 past then. And then I had the privilege of talking to Lori on episode 25 as well. So if you didn't catch those, make sure you go back and listen to them directly. And I would love for you to do that. And then I've had some of the other members on the show, Lizette Perez. And then I'm going to have somebody that we're going to announce as a advisory board member, Dena Hendry. She's going to be on in a few months as well. So lots of representation, and I love it. And I'm so excited to have you guys. Thanks for being here. Before we get to the show, a couple things. Again, I'm with Community Boss. I'm your host. I do the marketing for that company, and we do some great things with managing your physical spaces. We have some software to do that, generate some revenue, make it a better place to live, and just ease of your parking and all the things to just make residents' lives better and your lives better as a manager. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to answer them. But today, it's all about the Latinas in property management. So I'd love to just kick it to you guys to let you introduce yourselves and let everybody know who you are.
Evan, it is honestly just the biggest privilege to be here with you today. And I get to bring my whole crew with me. So we're going to have a lot of fun. 80 is a big number, and we are known to make a splash. So we're definitely going to do that today. Okay. So my name is Joelis Ferrandica. I am the founder of Latinas in Property Management. I also have a day job. I'm a regional education director for a management company. And I also do speaking gigs here and there. But Latinas really stemmed out of just a passion project. I was surrounded by nothing but greatness, and we decided to get all together and just make some strides for our community within the multifamily and property management world. So I'm going to kick it over to my counterpart, Lori, if you want to say a couple of words.
Absolutely. Evan, good to see you. Thank you for having me back. This is my second go round on your show. Good to see everyone. Hi, ladies. Hi. First, kudos to Joelis for putting this group together in the first place. This is something that stems back to conversations that her and I have had, and we've had with other Latinas in the business. And that is that we needed a louder voice. We all deserve a seat at the table. And so how do we do that? Once you get to a certain space, how do you bring others up with you? And so we are very intentional with everything that we do, that we're creating a space for women like us to have a seat at the table, have a voice, and to be able to contribute in the manner that we would like to and deserve to, honestly. So with that said, I am Lori Gudo. I'm the Director of Training and Talent Development for Royal American Management. I'm also a speaker, anywhere from a luncheon with Joelis to a national conference. I'm out there quite a bit and always speaking about my ladies. I love them all dearly. And it's an honor to be here today and have this conversation with everyone, because this is needed. We needed to create a space for us. So we did. And that's what we're here to talk about. So I will then turn it back over to Joelis, who's the next on the list, because I know we're all out of order on the monitor here. So
No worries.
Who's next?
I will kick it over to Karla.
How do I follow that?
Easily.
Hi, Evan. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me. My name is Karla. My last name is Soto. I am the owner and CEO of K&J Superior Services, which is a provider for services for the multifamily. But I also have a daytime job, like they say. I also work with the hospitality industry, which has been really my bread and butter. But coming over to the multifamily has been extremely fun. A challenge to learn all the lingo, but has been very rewarding. We've been able to be in the business now 6 years with K&J. We service a full team that is built of women. It's a minority company, but we're here to support the Latinas because we really believe in this movement, and we're happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Jen, take it away.
Hi, Evan. Thank you for having us. My name is Jennifer. I'm with Dena Properties. I'm a regional manager for them up in Ohio. So I'm far away from these ladies. But the same thing, I recently found out about Latinas, and I'm the only Latina in the company as of right now. So it is very important for us, for myself, to learn and from other Latinas as well in the business. I've been in the business about 9 years almost. Came from a whole different background. I came from aviation. Same thing. I'm learning the ins and outs, and I'm still eager to even learn more and hear from other people. So thank you for having us.
Thank you, Jen. How about you, Lisette?
My name is Lisette Magana. Evan, so nice to meet you. So a little bit about me. I also work for K&J. I am our head of marketing and development. So great minds. I guess I'm the baby of the group, I've been told recently. So I'm newer to the industry. I'm learning as much as I can, especially from this group in particular. I think it's so important what's going on here. And Joelis has gracefully let me help out with some of the marketing. And so hopefully you're going to see a lot of us really soon.
Michelle.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having us, Evan. It's a great pleasure to be here and representing Latinas in Property Management. My name is Michelle Borges. I'm Client Relationship Manager for Essential Staffing Solutions. It has been a year now for me in multifamily, and I'm just so truly honored to be a part of an outstanding group of women. Everybody has just amazing strengths. And coming from the education world for 15 years, it has been such an amazing ride to learn the business aspect of it, to learn the relationship building, to learn all aspects of this, what I would refer to as the multifamily universe. I never knew this was a thing until I started making my observations. And I'm just so grateful for Essential Staffing Solutions, especially their CEO, Marshall Clements, giving us the opportunity to grow here in the Central Florida market and just being that provider for staffing and providing multiple different services. And in general, just being a part of this inspirational, motivating, and empowering group, it's just an outstanding opportunity to be your authentic self, solution-based, and just continuing to grow along with each other and creating a larger table. So let's continue to pull up seats for everybody.
You ladies are impressing me, and I'm not even the host here. And last but not least, it is Dania. I guess Lizette and Dania would be twins at this point because they're the babies of the group.
Hello, everyone. Evan, thank you so much for having me. I'm so faithful in this group and happy to have had this opportunity. I'm a regional manager with NM Residential. I've been in the industry a little over 5-6 years now. And a big reason why I'm here is because two Latinas that are in this group, Joelis and Laurie, adopted me when I first started in the industry, and having them as mentors and the light at the end of the tunnel is a big reason why I'm where I am today. And I wanted to do the same thing. This industry has given me so much, and I wanted to give back to the industry just like they did. So that's a big reason why I'm here today. But yeah, I've been in the industry. You just trip and fall into it. But you can grow into so many different things. You think of property management and you can spring out into so many different areas. So just giving people that hope as well, that property management has so many different facets and things that you can grow into. And there's a seat at the table that we pulled out and brought in for ourselves. So I'm very excited to be here today, and thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for you guys being here. I really do appreciate it. Appreciate you all being my biggest group to date, because hosted for this there were 2 people. So this is definitely new ground for me, but I do appreciate you guys being here and excited to have a great conversation about what you all are doing with Latinas in property management. Before we get into it any further, there's a few questions I usually ask, but I'm going to do it a little differently because if we went everybody, it might take forever. When it comes to building community, now that's pretty much what you're doing with Latinas in property management. So what are some ways that you guys are doing that with that group?
We're doing a number of things, Evan. I think that our group really brings a fostering and highlighting of diversity within our industry. And we want to celebrate the rich Latinx culture while really focusing and fostering that continuous growth with professional development and educational experiences. And that doesn't mean that we have classes that we train ourselves. It means that we are a connector. We let you know what other classes you should be attending, what are the programs that you should be focused on within nationally, right? From the National Apartment Associations to our local affiliates. It's also very important for us to hold spaces like the webinars we do once a month, and where we have those uncomfortable conversations, but we have it in a platform where you feel safe and heard. And we're able to bounce off ideas off of each other, and also have these empowering conversations about personal growth, about your purpose, about leadership. And that's created itself into a little leadership series or a webinar. The sky is the limit for Latinas. We'll talk about the men's section that's opening up in April in just a bit. But there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, from events to networking to mentorship. And it's really just a group of women that have gotten together with a purpose and really are making strides.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that wanted to add to that as to why this group is so important in building community for you?
Absolutely. I'd love to chime in on that. One of the things that Joelis had mentioned is it's an opportunity and avenue to be agents of change, agents to be supportive for those that may have never experienced what leadership looks like or what it sounds like, or have the opportunity to step into an office and really polish these innate skills that are there, just never given the opportunity. So joining your local associations and being mentored with somebody that is a part of Latinas to make that transition easier, and taking those initiative steps and sharing the wealth and knowledge and the privilege to continue to grow into these leadership roles. It's definitely an agent of change, which is, I think, is crucial for someone that may not have ever known this was an opportunity to begin with.
Yeah,
I would add to that too. That was beautiful, Michelle. Thank you. I would add to that too. One thing that was super impactful is at the annual AGO Foundation Thanks for Giving luncheon, which I serve on the board for. I was there and had a front row seat. It was such a delight to see Michelle up there speaking on behalf of an organization, but also speaking in Spanish to the group. That has never happened in the years that I've been involved with the foundation. And so when you talk about representation matters, it really does. One thing that I hear from my students in classes I teach or in sessions that I'm speaking in is that they don't expect to see someone that looks like us on that stage or in front of that classroom. We're here to change that. We deserve that spot on the stage. We deserve that spot in front of the classroom. We deserve an arena, a space to be our authentic selves, so that other Latinas like us know that it is possible. If we can do it, you can do it. And let us show you the way. So that's one thing that really stuck out to me that happened in recent months. And those little moments, they add up and they matter. And you never know who's watching and who's inspired by that. So this group gives us a space to continue doing that.
Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
Thanks, Lori. Anybody else want to add to that?
I'm all for fighting for what you want and to get where you want, but it doesn't all have to be being in the blind. There are support groups, and we can help you understand what the stepping stones are to get where you want to be versus just being blind and trying to figure it out of yourself. Maybe your plan was to get somewhere in 1 year. We'll help you get there in 2 months, in a quarter, in 6 months. So I think that's also something huge that this group has provided me and a lot of other women like myself, is having someone to be your sounding board, be able to ask questions and say, how did you get here? What would you recommend? What were some stones that you tripped over that I can climb over and not have to deal with that? So just having a support group that's a catch-all for every type of stepping stones to get where you be.
Yeah, thank you, Dania. And then Jennifer, did you want to?
Yeah. So I can identify what Dania just said. Same thing. I've been with TNR Properties for almost 9 years. I have no idea about the business. I just landed here and I started as a leasing agent. Then I worked my way up as an assistant property manager. So I think that this is a really nice group and opportunity not to also teach other people where we were at some point. And then we still continue to grow because at least I think for all of us here, like you said, being a Latina, and it takes a little bit longer sometimes to get whatever we need to be at. So I think this is a really good support. I'm happy that I landed here. I just landed here not too long ago, so I'm very happy. And so far, I've been getting, like this morning, Columbus was hit with a tornado, and I said, I'm so hurt, like I have a tornado here, and everybody was all, everybody started reaching out to make sure everything was okay. But like I said, this is just a good opportunity not to just me being here in Ohio. It's a good opportunity to market and learn from other areas, and not just from here, from Columbus, but just over all the United States. So that'll be great.
Yeah, Evan, that's something we're really trying to focus on this year, is really bridging those gaps nationally. So we know that we have a strong market here in Florida. Most of the ladies here on this call are from Florida, so we're able to see each other at the conferences, in these local events. But we started thinking about the global outlook of it, right? How do we impact outside of this Florida region? And it was people like Jennifer that reached out. It was people like Dena that reached out, that we noticed that there was a need not only in our region, but just globally, nationally. And we took that significant step and started having these uncomfortable conversations. How are we going to ensure that the message that we're portraying here and really showcasing here is shown at a national level? And luckily, there are associations out there that are backing affinity groups like ours, like NAA, and the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And to piggyback off of the idea of NAA or even company initiatives, what do you guys think about groups like you've started versus groups that are started within companies? Like I can understand companies trying to do it, but a lot of times that almost can be more difficult because you got a person trying to do it for everyone in the company versus you guys collectively across companies doing it.
So, Evan, that's a really funny topic because ERGs, which is employee resource groups, it's a conversation that I have often when I try to explain what Latinas is all about. So, an employee resource group is an employee-led group that fosters diversity. It's inclusive and it's aligned with the organization's purpose and their service. While us as an affinity group, we don't belong to a organization, or an employee. It's really based off the volunteerism of everyone here. But personally, I think that ERGs are such an important facet of training, of development, of loyalty. I think that if you find a company that supports you, that encourages you, that provides you resources, you're more prone to stay at that company and move up the ranks. So personally, I think ERGs are an important facet of multifamily, of any industry in all reality. But I do know that there are not that many companies that actually have employee resource groups. Off the top of my head, I can only really think of one, which is Real Source, and Crystal Dukes does an amazing job at running that employee resource group. But it's very few of them that are actually doing it. And I would love to open the doors for those management companies that are looking for avenues and resources to reach out to us, so that not for us to build an employee resource group for you, but for us to be a resource for those employees that do want to grow within your organization.
Absolutely. But I would say what you're doing is way more powerful than the things that a company can do, because there's so much. First of all, size of companies, the number of people that would say they are a Latina or a different group that is a minority group or whatever, that needs somebody to mentor them or to look up to or to encourage them. They may not even have anybody else in their company that looks like them. So how could they even see that within their company? And I would say, even like where I live in the Pacific Northwest, we do have pockets where we have, as in Latinos here, Latinx people, but it's not nearly as much as like in Florida, right? So,
Correct.
so places like here, probably even more so, the benefit of a group like yours would be even stronger. So
Additionally, to add on to that, building the language of having those conversations. Hey, how would I approach X, Y, and Z? What does that look like? What does that sound like? And I want to make sure that I'm building a professional vocabulary or dialogue, or how can I have these courageous conversations when X happens? And it's a language barrier for some. And so how can we overcome that barrier? And how can we add on to that conversation so that we are representing not only our own cultural values, but also our companies, and holding the whole table accountable for progression and professional development and growth.
It's important to walk the talk. You can't just talk the talk, you have to walk the talk. Yeah. And that's in today's job market. That is one thing that you saw as a shift with the pandemic. People had a lot of time to evaluate their lives and reprioritize. And in doing so, they're no longer willing to work for an employer whose values don't align with their own. So people are not willing to work for an organization that does not embrace diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. I personally would not. I'm lucky to work for an organization like Royal American Management that we don't just have a committee. We have a dedicated group of people that are working on program development. We're rolling out several new programs this year, all to continue embracing what is part of the DNA of our organization. That's the kind of employer people are looking to work for. If you're a leader and that's not the organization that you are working for, then you have the power to change that. But you got to start somewhere. So that's where we step in to provide that resource, that vantage point that when you look at a company website, there should be a diverse group represented. I remember when I became part of our company's website, I was only one of 2 Latinas in that group. And I was proud of that. Being only one of 2. Could there be more? Always. But at least we're there. When you look at an organization that you're like the only one, like you might feel like really alone and really isolated. And so we don't want anyone feeling that way. We want to let them know there is a space where you will be embraced and celebrated for exactly who you are. And we're here to put those guardrails in place to what Michelle said, having those difficult conversations, building up your professional vocabulary, understanding how to navigate in a professional environment to get to the milestones that you wish to get to. That's one of the greatest advantages of being a part of a group like Latinas in Property Management.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love about your group is it does have a diversity of age and a diversity of position and a diversity of employer. So you guys are suppliers, your property management operators, your people that are just starting out a little bit, new to the industry-ish, young. So it is great to see, because I know for a fact that when you have people you can look up to that have been there, done that, you have so much to learn from and the road to navigate. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and we're learning so much, and it's okay to say old, but I learn from Lisette. I learn from Dania. They are so innovative in their marketing, in their approaches, that they tell me that I am a mentor to them. It's the contrary. They mentor me. They keep me young. They keep me on my toes, and they keep me aware of where the industry is headed. So that really is the focus of our group, to ensure that we are embracing our big ideas and our dreams, and that we know that's the fuel that propels us forward. And together we're going through a transformative journey. And I just can't wait to see how this butterfly flies. If that
And
makes
can
sense.
I just add to Joelle's 100%, it's a very diverse group, but I think going back to the original question about employee program, this is how they are made. This is this group, and doing things like this and getting strength in numbers is how we can talk to companies and say, hey, look at 200 women who all want this one program in your company. Of course, they're going to see that and go, oh, maybe there's a bigger group of a bigger demographic that we could be reaching. And maybe our employees would like this. And then all of a sudden, it creates a culture around that workplace that these people feel like they love going to work. They love being a part of that company because they're seen, they're recognized, they're noticed. And for Latinas specifically, that's so important for us. We're overlooked in so many categories, especially when it comes to professional industries. And I think we're knocked down in a lot of ways for being born the way that we are. And I think it's something that this group has, at least for me, it's taught me that not only can we not be knocked down, there's so many of us and we're all here for each other. And when we support each other this way, it's like an armor around all of us, and we are being protected by each other. We're protecting each other. And that's the way that change is made in the future. So if we're just thinking about this group, and right now it's bigger than that, it's so much bigger. If we can grow it, and we will, because Joelise is a genius, but once it grows and it creates an excitement and an energy in this industry, it's going to be unstoppable. And that's how you get those employee programs made in the first place.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And Joellis, thank you so much for starting it, because it takes a lot of your own time and effort and passion. And honestly, these types of things only go somewhere when someone's passionate, because it does take so much of your effort.
And it could be a lonely journey, Evan, in full transparency. And I'm lucky enough to have a group of powerful women that continue to encourage and inspire. But this type of group can be a turnoff in our industry, can be a turnoff to organizations or associations, and where they feel that maybe we are, not being as inclusive because we are only targeting Latinos, or because they have a fear that we're providing too many resources, or whatever that might look like. And sometimes it could be a very lonely path. But again, I'm honored and privileged to have an amazing sisterhood that helps continue this and helps drive this force forward. So I honestly would not be here, and I say that wholeheartedly, if it was not for every single woman that is on this call today. From Jennifer that just started with us, to Lori, that was someone I looked up to when I was on site and who I wanted to be like or be able to speak to. And fate has it, we had a quick conversation on Capitol Hill, and that sparked our friendship. And, we've come a long way since, but it's been a journey. And one thing I really want to touch upon, Evan, and I'm actually going to have Karla speak on this, is our partnerships with our supplier partners. So while this is a group and there's no membership fees or dues, because that's not what our thing is, we're here just to support and with a purpose. It is hard to throw events. It is hard because resources have to go into those events, into the webinars, Zoom, even the platform that you're in now, StreamYard, all that is money. We are lucky enough to partner with amazing supplier partners that encourage us and that give us that step forward. But we have to do a service for them as well, right? They're not going to do this just because they like who Joellis is, or they like the name Latinas in Property Management. They have to see a return. And that return is really being propelled by all the memberships that we have. So I'm actually going to let Karla speak on that a little bit, because she's our supplier partner here.
I am. This is a really special subject for me, because coming from the hospitality industry, having 21 years of experience, and then going into multifamily, I really wasn't knowledgeable as I thought I was. I thought service was everything. It's different. The culture is different. But for me as a vendor, my job is to make all my clients look good. When that client is a Latina, it makes me even happier. It makes it more rewarding for me. It gives me pride knowing that one of our own is able to shine because of K&J. So the service that we're able to provide for one of our own really does take a lot out of me. It makes it more fun. But I think that when it comes to Latinas creating a successful path, lets other Latinas know that there's a path that they can follow. I think that Latinas in Property Management have given all of us that beautiful gift of community, and for our vendor that makes us feel more confident in providing those services. I think with that being said, that's the beautiful conversation. The hard conversation is it's not an easy market to break into. I think that one of the toughest conversations I've ever had with Joellis and even some of my counterparts here has always been, let's keep it real. Let's have a tough conversation, and let's talk about why is it that we can't get in based on just pure skill into an account? Why are we not able to sell these services unless somebody knows somebody knows someone else? So I think that the Latinas board, and not only the board, just the whole community, the goal is to help each other grow across every field. It doesn't matter if it's services that we provide or services that Michelle provides, which is essential staffing. The idea is to promote each other. And that's probably one of the best avenues to do it, because trying it the old fashioned way and being a vendor supplier hasn't always been successful, at least from my experience. And so I think that was a tough conversation at first with some of my clients. Some of my clients sit on this board, and I get more excited to serve them because they're Latinas and I want them to shine. I want them to shine because it's K&J providing that service. But I do believe that this is the community that's going to bring those outlets and be more open-minded about doing business together and helping each other grow. I don't know if that makes sense for everyone else, but I'm passionate about this. I hope that this is always my talking point, because I will continue to knock that door down. I want every woman that owns a business, or every Latina that wants to even consider a business, to feel that she's going to have a supportive community that's going to back her up and go in there and try your best and be successful. We're going to be your first clients. We want to create that first family for that person.
Said Karla.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that side of it, because I think it is important to support one another from all angles. And I think, and Joellis, what you were saying about people having a problem with creating a group that's specific to a part of our population and things. The fact of the matter is, groups like this have always existed, and they've always pinpointed on a certain group, whether that's people that have a lot of money or people that, whatever it is, right? So groups always have existed. There's fraternal groups, there's things that have always propelled a certain group of people forward in society. So I think it only makes sense to do this because everybody else is doing it.
It's just a different name or a different hobby or
We know in college, right? We join fraternities. Those are all groups. So joining a chess club for an elementary, that's a group. But it just sometimes bothers people, and it's okay. Again, we're here to face it together. We're here to face it head on and make those waves. And you mentioned a very important word, and that was support.
So when it comes to all you're doing, there is an element of obviously mentorship across people and things. How is it that you guys are facilitating that as a group? And obviously you're spread out. Yeah, you have a big presence in Florida. You have people in Ohio, and Dena, she's in what, New Jersey? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you definitely have.
We have some people in California too.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how are you guys going about that, and how are you pairing together and things?
So what we do, Evan, is we have a WhatsApp group that you can become a member of the Latinas in PM community. And that's our regular motivational type of web platform. You'll get your Joellis wisdom of the day at least once a week. These ladies are probably tired of it. So sorry. And then we all just really encourage each other in that group. That's where we drop off little gems, where we have any events that are coming up, any courses that we want to, or that we feel you should take. That's where we drop our bulk of information. And then every 3 weeks, we hold a seminar that's called Conversations Between Friends. And that's specific on a topic. We've done 2 this year. One was on purpose, and the other one was on, ladies, refresh my memory. I'm so
leadership
sorry.
styles.
There you go. Leadership styles and communication styles.
Finding
And
your
then,
leadership voice.
yep, there you go. See, they're on it. And then every one of these ladies are going to present a topic. So it's diverse. You get a little bit of everyone, and it's like one big salsa. We're in NAA this year, so we have Apartmentalized coming up. So we have a meetup there. Please come and see me. I'll be sharing the stage with Shakora and Tara Samuels. So please ensure to come see me. We will also have a meetup there. I also can't wait to partner with Melanin in Multifamily. We'll be in the same space. So we're hoping to throw one big party or one big meetup. We have events coming up. There is a lot happening.
It's beautiful.
So we keep each other informed.
Yeah, no, it's good. And then tied to that is the fact that you, like you said, you guys are launching a men's version as well. So what's going on there?
Oh my goodness, Evan. So this one has been a passion project. If you think Latinas was a passion project, this is not even, I don't even know what to call it. All I can say is get ready for the launch of, so I'll give you the English version. It's Hispanics in Multifamily. So it's HIM, acronym for him. And in Spanish, it's Hispanos in Multifamily. Again, same acronyms. And it's really just going to be a vibrant community dedicated to empowering Hispanic professionals in the multifamily. So whether you're a property manager, a maintenance supervisor, a supplier partner, if you're just in the multifamily ecosystem, this is your chance to be a part of a supportive network that celebrates diversity. It fosters growth. We're doing the same. We're going to do the same things that we do with the Latinas. Do a webinar, the events. We're going to join both the Latinas and the him section together and throw these massive events because we have amazing board members and we've fostered these partnerships. Karla's brought in the hospitality side. So we've partnered with Sheridan. We've partnered with Anna, another board member with Valencia College, Home Builders Institute. And it's just really providing a platform for growth for our men in multifamily. It's not just for property managers or maintenance supervisors. It is for everyone that wants to join. I can't wait. Our official launch is April 4th in our in-person event. And maybe you can help us a little bit, Evan. The name of the event is Headshots and Tiaras, because originally it was just for women, but we're bringing the men factor in. So we're looking for a splash of man in there. So maybe you can throw some names out there to help us out. Okay. I'm going to task you with that.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Think about it. See what, we don't want to do the bow ties, or we want something cool and fun and innovative. And I think you got that for me, Mr. Marketing Manager.
I'll think it through. Yeah, I
Think
can
it
come.
through.
That's great. I'm really excited for you guys to be launching that. I know that some of the things partnership wise, when it comes to suppliers and things and getting training and other what companies were you working with to get some trainings going?
So Valencia has a great property management degree that is like innovative. They also have a maintenance division. Home Builders Institute provides a 12-week free program that is based on a grant by Home Depot. So this is a Home Depot granted program. And they give you carpentry skills, electrical skills, and they help you acquire your EPA license at the end of those 12 weeks. And this is completely free, no cost. They give you some tools at the end. If you're a veteran, they even give you veteran boots, and they even help with job placement. So we're bringing organizations much like Dania's NM Residential. We'll invite them to go to the graduation class, and they can scout maintenance personnel if you're looking for a maintenance personnel. We're going to try to equip all of these gentlemen, or maintenance people, I should say, be amazing and know how to manage people and lead people and have those soft skills, because that's really what we're lacking. It's the soft skills. It's how do we take a person that starts as a leasing professional or a groundskeeper that has so much potential, but there's no one there to develop them. So you fall stagnant and you fall short and you fall through the cracks. And we are no longer here to allow any one of our people to fall through the cracks.
No, that's great. Yeah, and I think being a group like yours and having that other one to complement is super important. I think that some of the things that this fights against is people's stereotypes too, which is ridiculous. But you guys are just a big, huge group that shows how awesome you're doing at your jobs, and so that they can see that you are way more than stereotypes, and that they can't put you in a box, because there is no box anymore.
That's right. And these are all very hardworking women, Evan, like legitimately, from Jennifer, Lizette, Denise, Tavares from BG Multi-Staffing. We have a plethora of women that show up every day, and they show up with purpose. And we need to ensure that we celebrate them, because it's important. It's important to us as women. It's important for our culture. And it's just a stepping stone and a catalyst for us to encourage others.
And they may not be getting celebrated from their own organization. So that's another thing to point out. We provide that support where it may be lacking in other areas.
Right.
Again, when you're looking at you're only one within your organization, or you're one of two, that's part of your leadership team, you may not have that support. I have been on the receiving end of some disparaging comments being in this industry and being a Latina in a leadership position. And it can be very disappointing, defeating, makes you feel like you don't deserve it. You don't belong where you are. And so we're there to step in and just say, no, we're here to encourage each other. What are the weekly wins? That's something that Joelis is always posting and asking about. And you'll see on our social media channels is let's celebrate those weekly wins. What are they? Whether they're something as small as what I celebrated my child's birthday to, hey, I got a promotion at work. There was a really great story that was recently posted about someone who came to our country. And Dania, I'll let you fill in the blanks on this, but what an amazing testament. This young lady came to our country with a dream of getting into a certain position, getting to a certain role. And she finally made that first huge stride, made that step. And I won't steal Dania's thunder, but it was one of many stories that we share to celebrate those wins, because they may not be getting it anywhere else. They may not have a strong support system outside of us. And so it's really important for us to be that constant support system. Me personally, I don't have a whole lot of family. I moved here to Florida from another place. And it's a strong support system is important as you continue to navigate life. And you just never know what anybody's circumstances are just by looking at them. So you can't imagine how the smallest, just cheering, support, words of encouragement, how much that means to someone who really doesn't have that support system outside of us. Whenever you get a chance, be kind always, right? Sprinkle it around like confetti. But I would love if Dania would share that really powerful story of how this one particular employee was really able to grow into this space. And we're all so proud of her accomplishments, but I don't want to steal Dania's thunder, because this was one of her testimonies from somebody she's worked with. Dania, tell us more.
Yeah, of course. Yes. And that goes back to what I initially mentioned is being a part of this group so that I can also pour into someone else. I've been incredibly fortunate to work for a company, NM Residential, that actively supports initiatives like Latinas in Property Management. Sometimes we'll have events or have calls going on that happen during work hours, and they're supportive of me being involved and going out of their way to support me as well. They support my involvement in community events. They provide resources for professional development. They create a workplace culture where diverse perspectives are not only welcomed, but they're celebrated. And someone like Maria, who did come from Venezuela, she's a systems engineer graduate, but she was faced with a lot of different barriers here, language barrier, coming into pretty much an entirely new universe for her, like being upside down. She started in this industry with a housekeeping position, and she saw this group, Latinas in Property Management. She was one of my employees, and she came up to me one day and she said, I want to be here. What do I have to do to get here? And we started with these small stepping stones. She visited the first Latinas in Property Management night, and she told me that day, she said, next time you guys have a big event like this, I'm going to be a leasing. And we worked together, and she finally got the opportunity to go from housekeeping to being a leasing consultant. She just got promoted. So I'm so excited for her. That's a perfect example of having a company that supports these initiatives and having a support group, because she would have never felt comfortable enough to say, I think I can do it. I'm going to invest in myself. She went to night school. We signed her up. She got the support that she needed to grow to where she needed to be. I'm not going to cry. I promised myself I wouldn't cry, but I'm so happy for her. And I urge listeners to advocate for change within their organizations and take those concrete steps to support Latina professionals in the property management industry. And to be cheesy, together we can create a brighter future for all of ourselves. So yeah, that's my story.
I think that's always a conversation that Joelis and I always end up on. It's how do we promote each other? It's all of us have such a different skill set coming from hospitality. Like I say, I always say hospitality because that was my schooling, but coming into multifamily, it's a lot more lax. But I always say, how do you promote someone else's talents? That really is more powerful than any group. A woman really recognizing someone else's skill set is beautiful. And I think that's where it really starts. And then when you have a collective group like this, promoting each other and creating that model behavior for each other, where we're not used to that. Women in society are not used to that. And then creating a group that is going to model that, and that's going to be part of the culture. That is really part of our culture. Like I always tell Joelis, I don't have to be someone's best friend to recognize their talent or to recognize their skill set or to know what areas they're better at or things that they do great. And I think that's what we always try to focus on in Latinas. We try to focus on the things that every woman brings to the table and how it's going to travel to their companies or individual companies like my own, where my group is very small, but I can guarantee you it's very intimate and I don't really have turnover. Thank God. But I think it's one of those things where we just love to promote other people's talents. And one of those things that Danya said about creating opportunities and having tough conversations with companies to create change is really going to be the push, the voice for Latinas on top of empowering women.
The agent of change that you're mentioning, Karla, it's just, there's nothing like culture meeting business, meeting promoting. It's just a beautiful line of transferring just promotion in general. And at the end of the day, you're speaking life into somebody. I get to go to my company and talk to my superiors, and they're speaking life into me. And I get that from here too. And so when you're working in a diverse and inclusive space, it's just only going to continue to grow the sisterhood, this multifamily sisterhood of skill sets, conversations, and creating that diverse workforce that we're all trying to achieve together. And that's why I love the Latinas in Property Management group and also my company, Central Staffing, because it's just taking those initiatives and just driving it home for everyone.
And think about what it's done even for someone like Jennifer, right? Jennifer stated that she was the only Latina in her company. That has to be, and no disrespect, but that has to be like heavy, right? That you can't
Very
really
heavy.
relate.
It can be.
You can't really relate.
It can be, definitely. Like I said, when I joined this company has, TNR has been great. It has been the only company I have learned from. Like I said, I came here as a leasing agent. I just landed. I had just left my job in the aviation, which I said, why did I ever leave that? So I was coming from a whole different world. When I became a leasing agent, I said, okay, but how I have always been same thing. Like I said, I want to grow, I want to keep learning, I want to move up on the ladder. I have never been the kind of a person who stays in one place, right? We always say, sky's the limit. So I want to do more and more. And it does take a little bit. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get there, because like we said, we have to step on a little bit more stones rather than the other people. So it can be challenging. Speaking both language, I think it can be helpful, but then sometimes it's okay. It's not a big deal for other people. Like I said, I've been working with Patina for a very long time, but for me to be holding this position right now, when I joined Latinas, I was actually just talking, and the way I ended up in Latinas was because one of my coworkers, and we were talking, and I said, you know what, I just need to expose myself more, meaning I need to learn more. I feel when you get stuck, and it's like, how do I get out of this feeling stuck mode? And I don't know, so we were looking to several webinars, and they're thinking about me going to more conferences and stuff like that. And so she sent me this link, and I immediately go in there and see it, and because I was just feeling stuck. But then this group just landed on my desk. Oh wow, okay. So then, like I said, I immediately reached out. It has been very helpful. Even, like I said, I'm still learning. I feel like even though I've been in this company for almost 9 years, I'm still learning. I'm still eager to learn more. So it's just, like I said, it's challenging, but it's also like more like you get to grow more. And like I said, I was feeling really stuck when I found out about Latinas. And then it's just, like I said, it's just landed. Like somebody said, here you go. So it's been
She
great.
ain't stuck no more, Evan.
But I think that's what's great, right? Is that it's not just a group about multifamily or property management alone. It's deeper than that. It's more personal. And I think, for example, someone like Jennifer who doesn't have, when you're at work, you want to chat with your coworkers, you want to laugh with your friends, right? And having someone who is Latina who you can relate to and speak to on a daily basis, it makes you feel good. It makes you happy to be there at work, and to not have anyone to relate to not have anyone to speak to about maybe your family issues, or maybe because they don't get the nuance, right? Mm-hmm. So then you get to have a group of all of these women who not only understand what you're going through, they understand your life, your values, the things that you're prioritizing, which makes this group bigger than just property management. It makes it
a lifeline for a lot of women who don't have that at work. And a lot of women who, like Dena, like we don't have, there are people who come from their country who don't have anybody. And when that happens and you have someone as amazing as Dena who can guide you and get you that support, that's amazing. She helps someone change their life. And that's what this group is doing. It starts with one person and she's done something amazing, but we each have an opportunity to do that. And that's what this group is helping us do. For me, I look up to every single woman on this screen because I know not all of them are just property management people. Not all of us own businesses. Some of us are moms. Some of us have our own companies, our own work people. All of us are people. We work in an industry together. So why not help each other? Why not strengthen each other? Why not have each other's backs? Not just from Orlando, but for all over the country.
I love everything everybody has had to say. We rally so hard for each other. And whether you're here, like in Orlando, or you're all the way in Ohio, we have like, you form this bond. And in many cases with people you haven't met, like that's the power of this group, is that we support each other so wholeheartedly that you feel that across the miles. And I think that is probably one of the most tremendous values of being a part of this. But there's so much more than just supporting us in the industry. It comes down to when you're in your day-to-day life, supporting Latina business outside of multifamily. Like, Karla talks about hospitality. I'm an affiliate for a makeup company that is owned by a Latina. And that's one of the reasons why I support Curse Cosmetics. Going to give them a quick plug. The reason why it is an indie makeup brand, but owned by a Latino woman who's just trying to make it in the business. So I rally hard for her and her cosmetic brands, not only because they're great, but because she's one of us. And I want to see her business succeed. So find those businesses, whether they're local, whether they're online, that you can support to propel all of us forward. It's not just multifamily. It's so much more than that. So that's something I felt was important to share. Willis?
No, I'm Lori running for president 2024.
I want you to add one thing about side of multifamily. I work for another company, which I'm the only woman in the United States that does it. And on top of it, the only Latina that does it. So I think that there is a change. Like Jenny said, it's slow. But I think that the more we fill those spaces, even though it feels uncomfortable, even when we get that imposter syndrome, do I belong? Sometimes I call, do I belong here? What did I do to myself to get here? Sometimes I'm in a room full of all kinds of salespeople globally, and I'm like the only woman, the only Latina. And it strikes you, it makes me very sentimental to be in that position. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm holding this role for the next girl that's going to come in here and take over this region for me and learn this sales. And on the K&J side, I always say any of us can open a business. It's about leading with pride and having a heart to lead other people and helping people make their lives better. That also is changing slowly. You see a lot of entrepreneurs that are women. They're taking big risks. They're not scared anymore. There's nothing to be scared of. You will have support. There is going to be challenges, but I think companies are moving in that direction where they are having a lot of women in their leadership roles. And check ourselves, or come back to Latinas in Property Management, check yourself and tell you, yeah, you belong here. So I do love to commend some of those companies that are making the change. It's not all bad.
Yeah, and I did want to add to internally, we provide support for each other, but it's also a movement because we have other people who observe us and say, what can I do to support Latinas in property management? They may not be Latinos themselves, but they want to see us win. And we also provide them with a platform where they can involve themselves and invest into us and help us and say, I want to see them win. What can I do to help as an organization, as a business, as a support group? We've also created kind of an avenue for people to be comfortable to ask questions on how they can help and have a kind of a streamline of how they can provide those resources as well.
And what I would love to add on to that is just a curiosity that's coming in from the property management side to the partner supplier side. I'm getting a lot of questions now. What do you do and how do you do it? And oh my goodness, like I need to take that more into account when I am speaking with these partner suppliers that are coming to my site visits. And it was a beautiful conversation I had at the Quarter One Breakfast Supplier Partner here for our Central Florida. And the property manager was saying, I need to do better at making time for my partner suppliers. And for her to say that, I was like, wow, some conversations happening, but it's because of the relationship building piece that I'm gathering and that I'm getting because of one, hard work that it takes to get in through the door, but also the confidence and the building of that I'm gathering from both my company at ESS and also Latinas in Property Management. Now we're growing together, not only for myself, but also for the next partner supplier that comes through the door, whether it be a Latina, Latino, whether it's just another vendor, doesn't matter. The conversations and the impact that we're making here in Latinas in Property Management will be and continues to be an effect, a beautiful effect for everyone else also on the partner supplier end. So that is just a testament to show that thank you for the property managers, also the regionals that are giving time for partner suppliers as well when we talk about that relationship building and that ROI that comes with it.
I am so proud of all of these ladies. They represent me, my culture, our culture in such a way. I have tears in my eyes. They can all each run for president. I will vote for all of them. And it's always an honor to be in a platform like yours that does have a lot of viewership and that you're able to open those platforms for us and have these conversations. So a round of applause just for you.
Big
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my honor. And I exist in this role to promote other people and elevate others that are bosses. And I don't just let people on because they're just like, I just want to be on a podcast. No, I see you guys as killing it at what you're doing. And I want others to see that as well. And so they can you can be recognized at the hard work and the success that you're having so that others can see you, just like you're doing with your group, see you in a new light, see you outside of a stereotype or whatever they have that is for them, holding them. You're not holding yourselves back, because I know that you guys are going to plod through it in any way you possibly can and be successful, but they're holding themselves back because if they don't see the value that you guys bring and want to hire you for the value you bring, then that's their own fault.
Well said. And I'm still going to look for you for that plug for the men's section. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for everybody that was on: Jennifer, Lizette, Michelle, Lori, Joelis, Karla, and Danya. I appreciate you guys so much for being on, being a guest on Boss Talk, being bosses yourselves. And I look forward to continue to see you guys succeed in this industry and the different ways that you are engaged with it, whether that's as a supplier or on property management side of things. It is exciting. And I hope to see any and all of you that are going to be at NAA, because it would be so fun to connect with you in person. And Joelis, you sooner than later here in Washington State. Looking forward to seeing you at EdCon coming up real quick at the end of March.
It is.
And plug that, because Joelis, you will be there. And what are you doing?
So I will be speaking, and I don't want to give too much on my topic because I think EdCon is going to be a fantastic event, but we are going to discuss leadership, communication, and why it's important. So stay tuned. I also get to share, not the stage, unfortunately, but I get to share this experience with my good friend Ishia Shepherd from Melanin and Monica Frazier. So just get ready for us. We're going to make some waves over there in Washington.
Which, if you want to get to know them better, they also have been bosses here on Boss Talks.
That's right.
See, I know how to find you guys that are awesome, right? I love it.
You do. Listen, now you have a slew of awesomeness here.
Yes. I'm not the reason you're awesome. I just see that you're awesome. That's what I like to say.
That matters to us.
Thank you.
Just like they jumped in and we're on Boss Talks, you too can. This is an open platform. I am here to elevate and promote people that are bosses at what they do, no matter what their role is, no matter what their age is. I want them to have an opportunity to share their passions and what they do that makes them a boss. Reach out to me. I'd love to have you on the show. But today it's been about Latinas in Property Management. It's episode 80, but every Wednesday at noon Pacific Standard Time. And we'll see you later.